The Immune System by Megan, Jacob, Taylor, and Jordan. What is the immune system? The immune system is important to the human body because it protects us from pathogens and antigens. Pathogens are infectious agents and antigens are any foreign molecule. The immune system works by using protective barriers and many specific and nonspecific functions in order to protect us from pathogens. There are 3 lines of defense. The first line of defense is used as a barrier, such as skin. Cilia sweep invaders out of the respiratory tract, and lysosomes in our saliva, tears, and mucus help to break down harmful bacteria. We also have gastric juice in our stomachs and symbiotic bacteria that outcompete the harmful bacteria. The second line of defense is white blood cells, also known as phagocytes, which engulf pathogens by phagocytosis. Neutrophils in the second line of defense are the most abundant phagocytic cells that take in pathogens. Natural killer cells help to destroy cells that play host to viruses and bacteria, and dendritic cells become antigen-presenting cells, called APC, to stimulate specific immunity. There are also interferons, which are proteins produced by infected cells to produce proteins to defend, which are also called white blood cells, and the inflammatory response, which is pain and swelling at an infection site, which allows the body to know that there is an issue there. The third line of defense is immunity. Immunity is built in this defense to specifically fight a particular antigen. The major histocompatibility complex, also called MHC, distinguishes between our self cells and foreign cells. Specific immune cells. The B cells are made and mature in the bone marrow and respond to antigens. They create antibodies or proteins to fight against the antigen. Antibodies created are specific to the antigen, and each class of antibody is specific to a particular activity. Each of the 5 classes of antibodies are Y-shaped and consist of variable and constant regions. The variable region is what gives antibodies specific for the antigen. Plasma cells are cells that release the antibodies that circulate to an infection site, and memory B cells stay after the infection to make a person immune to future attacks from the same strain of the infection. T cells also originate in the bone marrow, however they mature in the thymus. Cytotoxic T cells are lyse non-cells that puncture the non-cells, and they're known as killers. Helper T cells are also there to activate inactive macrophages and stimulate B cell production and cytotoxic T cells. The immune response. Cell-mediated response is when T cells respond to non-self cells with clonal selection, where killer T cells are produced and the helper T cells bind to macrophages. The T cells work to kill the antigens while the B cells create the antibodies. The humoral response is a response to antigens or pathogens within the lymph, where macrophages and helper T cells stimulate B cell production so antibodies can be made. How to fight infection. Antibodies are created to fight the bacteria, and vaccines are preventative, and they are used to help stimulate memory cell production. The body fighting the infection with T cells and B cells is known as active immunity, but if antibodies are given to you, it is known as passive immunity. Like all body systems, there can be disorders, or problems with how it works. Some immune disorders include allergies, which is a hypersensitive response to antigens, called allergens, where an IgE class of antibodies are produced. There's the autoimmune disease, which is the loss of self-tolerance. Stress and exertion, where exercise improves the immune system and stress suppresses it. And immunodeficiency diseases such as HIV and severe combined immune deficiency, also known as SCD, which is the absence of white blood cells. The end.